It's my honor and pleasure to introduce Dr. Allan Kirk as the inaugural speaker for the JDRF New England Diabetes Center of Excellence Seminar Series. For Doug Melton, myself, and all the other investigators associated with the program, Allan, we're very pleased that you took the time with us today. Allan's been a colleague and a friend for over 25 years. Let me first share his incredible academic credentials, and then I'll share some personal reflections. Allan received his undergraduate degree from Old Dominion University, at one point considering a career as a professional musician. He is a tuba player, and he's performed with the Boston Pops, as a matter of fact. Before he headed to Duke, where he earned his MD and PhD degrees, the latter studying with Dr. Bernard Amos. He stayed on at Duke to complete the very rigorous surgical residency under Dr. David Sabiston, and from Duke, Allan headed to the University of Wisconsin to complete a fellowship in transplantation under Dr. Hans Solinger, one of the developers of the pancreas transplant procedure. I first met Allan when I was serving in the U.S. Navy at the Navy Medical Research Institute with Dr. Carl June. We had been studying T-cell co-stimulatory pathways and work that we were doing, and we were aware of work being done here, but actually by Dale Greiner and at Dartmouth by Randy Noel, and had generated some very intriguing mouse data, prompting our interest in testing the co-stimulatory pathway modifiers in non-human primate transplant studies. And then, in a remarkable twist of good fortune, Allan, who had attended medical school on a Navy health profession scholarship, reached out to me to see if he might complete his military obligation with us. It was remarkable. And the rest is history. Allan oversaw the remarkable studies he'll be describing today and has continued. From the Navy, Allan and I were invited across the street to the NIH, where we worked together for a decade in the newly established Navy NIDDK Transplant and Autoimmunity Branch. From his days in Bethesda at the NIH and the Navy, Allan moved to Emory, where he served as the Vice Chair of Surgical Research, and then in 2014 to Duke University, where he is now, quite fittingly, the David Sabiston Chair of Surgery and Surgeon-in-Chief for the Duke University Health System. He's extremely well funded, has published over 300 manuscripts in the highest quality journals, and has been elected to the National Academy of Medicine, and he is the editor-in-chief of the American Journal of Transplantation. A very impressive career indeed. On the personal front, Allan and I were running partners during our days in Bethesda. Our families have gone on ski trips together and have many shared and fond memories. I can attest that he has unique energy and a singular focus on the well-being of the patients under his care. He's a most gifted speaker as well, as you'll see. And to prove that we were both young once, I have a very short video I'll share.
Welcome back. Fascinating stuff here. A report just released by Navy medical researchers heralds a breakthrough that could make it much easier to pair organ donors with recipients. That is welcome news to more than 50,000 Americans currently awaiting an organ transplant. The new therapy prevents the immune system from attacking, quote, mismatched organs without using dangerous anti-rejection drugs. Joining us now to explain are the therapy's creators, Captain David Harlan and Lieutenant Commander Allan Kirk of the Naval Medical Research Institute in Bethesda, Maryland.
Now, I will say he says we developed the therapy, and I think Allan and I would both say that we didn't develop the therapy, but we were fortunate to be part of the team that tested it. I want to show one other short clip. This is us, by the way, giving a press conference at the Pentagon. The Department of Defense regarded that press conference as the #1 story of the year for the Department of Defense.
The way it does in monkeys, it will help thousands and eventually millions of people. We're now from NBC's chief science correspondent, Robert Bazell.
It is a discovery. It could make transplants of all organs, kidneys, hearts, lungs, and livers, much easier and more common. It could make it much simpler to find a matched organ and eliminate many of the terrible side effects of transplantation.
If this ultimately works in humans, it will, I believe, totally revolutionize the field of transplantation.
In the studies that Allan will be describing and led for us, Dr. Anthony Fauci acknowledged us when he established the Immune Tolerance Network. Research conducted by the Navy Medical Research Institute led to the establishment of the Immune Tolerance Network. Allan and I, of course, look exactly the same, but Tony Fauci looks like he's aged 25 years or so. All right, well, so that's the end of my, Allan, we're thrilled that you're our first speaker for this series. We really appreciate you taking the time to share your work, your insights, and your time.
Thanks. Well, thank you, Dave, for that really overly generous introduction, but typically gracious as always. I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak to you all, and hope someday soon to be able to do so in person as we get back into the swing of things.